The story of the Lockheed F-104 Starfighter begins in the early 1950s, at a time when the world was tense and fearful. The Cold War had cast a long shadow over the globe, and the United States was deeply concerned about the threat of Soviet bombers carrying nuclear weapons. Existing fighter jets were too slow, radar systems were inadequate, and missiles were still in development. The Air Force wanted a solution that went beyond conventional thinking. They needed a plane that could climb faster than any other, reach incredible speeds, intercept enemies before they could strike, and return safely. Comfort, ease, and pilot forgiveness were secondary. Survival and performance were everything. Lockheed's legendary engineer, Kelly Johnson, embraced this challenge with single-minded determination. He did not aim to build a balanced fighter. He aimed to build an extreme machine. The F-104 Starfighter emerged as a marvel of engineering, but also as a machine that demanded perfection. Its fuselage was long and slender, tightly fitted around a powerful engine, while its wings were so small and thin they seemed almost impossible. Every curve, every design choice was about speed and climb, and nothing else. The aircraft did not tolerate mistakes. It demanded respect, skill, and precision. When the Starfighter first flew in 1954, it amazed the world. It broke speed and altitude records and climbed faster than almost any jet before it. Governments, military leaders, and civilians watched in awe. NATO allies, including Germany, Italy, Canada, and Japan, quickly adopted the aircraft, believing it to be the pinnacle of air superiority. The F-104 became a symbol of strength, power, and advanced technology. At air shows, its sleek silver shape drew gasps and admiration. But behind its beauty and speed lay danger that could strike without warning. As the F-104 entered active service, its extreme nature became painfully clear. The same design features that gave it astonishing speed also made it unforgiving. Its tiny wings and high landing speeds made takeoffs and landings treacherous. Pilots had almost no room for error, and at low altitude, even a minor misjudgment could become fatal. In Europe, where the aircraft was widely used, pilots often flew in challenging weather and over difficult terrain. The mountains of Germany, the unpredictable skies over Italy, and foggy low-level flights turned each mission into a test of nerves. Pilots describe flying the Starfighter as exhilarating, yet terrifying. It rewarded skill, but punished the smallest mistake. Accidents soon became common. Germany alone suffered heavy losses, with over 100 pilots killed and hundreds of aircraft destroyed. Families mourned, and airbases became places of funerals rather than celebrations. Newspapers published reports of repeated crashes, questioning military decisions and the wisdom of purchasing such a dangerous aircraft. The F-104 earned chilling nicknames like the Widowmaker and the Flying Coffin. Even experienced pilots admitted that it was less about flying and more about survival. The pressure on governments increased as the public demanded answers. Investigations revealed a combination of design challenges, misuse in unsuitable missions, rushed pilot training, and maintenance difficulties. The Starfighter was performing exactly as designed, but real-world conditions often exceeded its capabilities. Corruption scandals involving Lockheed further complicated the situation, creating a political storm that forced officials to act. Restrictions were quietly imposed. Flight hours were reduced, dangerous missions were eliminated, and pilots were forced to adhere to stricter procedures. The Starfighter's freedom was curtailed without an official ban, but the effect was the same. Its operational era was coming to an end. Yet, the F-104 was not a failure. It was a powerful teacher. Its existence pushed aviation technology to new limits, forcing engineers to rethink aerodynamics, propulsion, and high-speed flight. It provided lessons that would influence future fighter jets, ensuring that future pilots could achieve high performance without risking their lives so recklessly. The aircraft also strengthened NATO alliances by standardizing fighter capabilities across multiple countries, creating cooperation and logistical efficiency in a tense geopolitical landscape. Pilots who survived flying the F-104 often spoke with a mix of respect and fear. They described the aircraft as honest, stable, and exhilarating. A machine that demanded perfection but gave unmatched performance. Many admitted that it forced them to become better, more precise. Pilots teaching lessons that no simulator or classroom could at others. However, could cope. Even highly trained pilots sometimes failed, leaving families devastated and military communities shaken. Every flight carried the tension of knowing that the difference between success and disaster could be seconds, or even a fraction of a second. As newer aircraft came into service, the Starfighter's extreme risks became unacceptable. The F-4 Phantom and other jets offered high performance, but were far safer and more forgiving. Air forces gradually retired the Starfighter from frontline duty. Restrictions, training changes, and operational limitations effectively ended its active service. Yet even after retirement, the F-104 refused to disappear. Some were preserved in museums, immortalized as both technological marvels and cautionary tales. A handful remained airworthy for research, ceremonial purposes, or highly controlled flights by expert pilots. These rare flights were never casual. They were deliberate, acknowledging the aircraft's legacy and danger. The F-104 Starfighter's story is one of extremes. It is a tale of ambition, engineering brilliance, human courage, and tragic consequences. It proved that speed and performance can reach astonishing heights, but that ignoring human limits can cost lives. Its legacy lives on not just in museums or flight logs, but in the design principles of modern fighter jets. The Starfighter reminds the world that innovation carries responsibility and that the most remarkable machines are often the most dangerous. Even decades later, its story continues to inspire our caution and respect. Today, the Lockheed F-104 Starfighter is more than a plane. It is a lesson that speed and technology alone are not enough. A lesson that human skill and safety must always be considered, and a lesson that some machines, no matter how dangerous, can leave a legacy that lasts forever. Subscribe Jet Curious for more aviation stories that refuse to fade away.